Welcome to the midday news right here at Prime Media TV. I am Ayo, bringing you all of the headlines that we have to be reviewed with you this afternoon. And here we are on the front page of the Punch newspaper this afternoon. There is a shocker. But then, as you can see, I have with me my co-host in the studio, Nwachuku Treasure. You're welcome to the show once again.
Thank you very much.
So this story I'm saying here is quite like a shocker for me. Like, we have borrowed, and here we are borrowing again. How do we repay? What has the previous loans been used for? But then on the front page of the Punch this afternoon, we are seeing here that World Bank okays $1.57 billion loan for Nigeria. We are wondering what exactly this loan will be used for, but then let's quickly see the story. The World Bank has approved 3 new loan requests totaling $1.57 billion in financing for Nigeria. According to a statement released on Monday, the approval is to support the federal government in strengthening human capital through better health for women, children, and adolescents. In added that the approved project would also help build resilience to the effect of climate change, such as floods and drought, by improving dam safety and irrigation. According to the statement read, the World Bank has today approved 3 operations for a total of $1.57 billion to support the government of Nigeria in strengthening human capital through better health for women, children, and adolescents, and building resilience to the effect of climate change, such as floods and drought, through improving dam safety and irrigation. Another loan of $1.57 billion in Nigerian naira, it should be over 2 trillion naira. And we are wondering, the previous loans, how have they been utilized? Here we are talking about a new loan. But then let me go to my co-host. $1.57 billion. How do we justify that? Yes, we can justify that we need this money, but how do we justify the usage of this money? Let me hear your thoughts.
The major thing we should be looking at first is the payback time, the condition attached to these loans. Because now, as an individual going to bank to collect loan, they don't just give you loan because you are a customer, because you have an account with them. There are conditions regardless, and the higher the amount, the higher the requirement. What are the conditions? Judging from the fact that we have loans unpaid, was it not recently that our presidential jet was seized as a result of something related to money issues and all that? We have a lot of monetary issues unresolved, and this one it's about going to 3 trillion. I don't know where we are heading to. A lot of people, the other time we talked about an NGO that have released huge sum to cushion the effects of this dam. Here again, there is this dam is inclusive as to the reason why this money has been borrowed. Honestly, I cry for this country, because you said it's a shock to you. A man said the only thing that can shock him in Nigeria is electricity. Nothing. We keep on seeing worst cases every day. Now, I was going through the news. I saw certain amount, about $570 million budgeted for primary health, and you will agree with me that there are so many health workers in Nigeria today that have not been paid, that are being owed. They save about 500 million towards education and all that. In the country, you see, we will see that this thing will not be channeled to the appropriate quarter. That is the problem. All right. So my fear as it stands now is, who pays this money? The president is not going to be in office forever. When he leaves office, who pays? There is no improvement in production in the country. The generation of income in the country is very low, because so many things have been affected. So how do we pay this money? Who pays this money? All right. What is the condition attached to this money? The interest. What do they use as collateral? It's a problem. So we don't wake up one day and discover that Nigerian name has been changed.
Yeah, definitely. That they've sold us out and we don't know where exactly we are heading to. I said earlier that we can justify the need for this money. improve better healthcare for women, children, and adolescents. I have been an advocate for inclusiveness. There are a lot of out of school children in Nigeria.
Yeah.
A lot of them. And you are wondering, how are these people coping? What provision is the Nigerian government providing for these people? If you look at women, pregnant women, there is no enough care for them. They still have to pay huge amount of money for, somebody was telling me that the wife went to deliver in a general hospital and they were asked to pay 300,000 naira just because she went through the cesarean session. So you can imagine, we are not saying that they should make everything entirely free, but to some extent, it should be subsidized in a way that people can afford. I have always advocated for inclusiveness of the aged in the country. At least when our aged grow to a point in this country, there should be availability for them, even though this loan did not include these people. So there is justification for why they have to get the money, but there's no justification for how the money will be utilized. We have not even put into proper use the resources that we have at hand. We have not utilized the resources that we have at hand. Go to some general hospitals today. They have the facilities, they have the building, but there is no enough ends. A lot of them are jackpying. They are leaving the country. You are not working on how to improve on that area, but you are taking a loan for the inclusiveness of those people. How well have you been utilizing what you have at hand? You cannot come here and tell me that you need loan to improve on this thing when the one you have at hand has not been properly utilized. So we have the equipment that we have at hand. We must ensure that they are working. We must ensure that they are in their proper states. And here, the inclusiveness of these debts include building resilience to the effect of climate change, such as flood and drought, through improving dam safety and irrigation. Do these people want to tell us that amongst the budgets that they always fix year on year budget,
that these things are not included?
These things are not included. Yes, we understand that. You see, the dam that is being referenced here, we know that even though it is not mentioned outrightly, they are talking about Alao Dam. But we must understand that if those people have done the job that is required beforehand, there won't be need for us to be patching dam, and there won't be need for us to be having this conversation. But because we have people who will not do the job they are supposed to do, they will collect the money and refuse to do the work. That is why this dam is where it is today. And I'm now looking, you were saying something about repayment plan. Really, for everything that we have in Nigeria that like a lot of Nigerians are still looking at, we know that they are all on collateral. They are gone. A lot of persons are saying we are oil producing country, we have the oil, why are we still paying heavy? We must understand that despite Nigeria produce over 1 million barrels of crude oil per day, it has gone into debt.
Audio.
Was it not on this same table that we discussed that NNPC got a loan of over 3.3 billion from Afreximbank? They paid it upfront with our crude. So even though we are getting crude massively, the production is massive, they are not our own. We are using them to service debts.
These people, they mention names of things to sound justifiable.
Yeah.
But we know that to the world, to anyone that is reading the news, but we know that we are not, the reality is far from what they are saying.
Definitely.
And that is where accountability is not playing in. You cannot be saying something differently and your action is different. You see, education was mentioned as if they have education in mind. Today is the end of September. The schools the states where schools were asked to, their resumption was on hold indefinitely. They are not saying anything about it. Tomorrow is October. We are supposed to be celebrating independence. Many students are still at home, and they include education in the reason for this loan, as if they have education in mind. So they are deceiving us.
Speaking about education, there's a recent issue that happened in Lagos State Model College, where the parents came out to protest that the government wants to increase the.
They've increased it already.
Yeah, they increased the money for maybe feeding or something by over 300%. You see, we live in a taxation government. One of the ways in which these people pay this money back is through taxes. And they will definitely not tax themselves, but they will tax the people.
The people that are not enjoying anything.
That are not even enjoying, because I wonder, the education is actually supposed to serve us around. This education is only serving a sector of the people. So if the people who are supposed to pay taxes to repay this, they would ask question. They will ask question. You're asking us to pay tax. What exactly are you using our tax to do? You see, all of these loans that we are taking, we really don't need to take all of these loans. If at all our leaders can cut their coat according to the materials they have at hand. You are asking us to manage with you. You're asking us to bear with you. But you're not giving us reasons why we should bear with you. You're still living large. You're still flaunting house. It is only in Nigeria that we have office of the president's son. It is only in Nigeria we have where the president's son is donating over 500 million naira for people who are experiencing climate, whatever the environmental issues and all of that. It is only in this country where we have leaders that can flaunt word of cash that became millionaires, billionaires when they became leaders.
You know,
It is only in this country that we see things like that. But if you go to other countries, was it not the Prime Minister of England? He left the office with just a bicycle. With just a bicycle. That is to show you how these people are selfless in service. That we are coming into power to serve you, not to embezzle the funds, not to impoverish you and make life difficult for you. The president of Senegal, when he became the president, he stopped people from coming to welcome him when they get back from international visits or when they go on international trips. Don't come and visit me. You have jobs to do. I will come back alone. I have nothing to be afraid of. But it is in this country that we have leaders that have hundreds of people who would come and welcome them by the time they get back home. But all of these things, if they can cut down on it, they can use all of this money to spend on education, to spend on infrastructure, to spend on health, and the money will still be available. So we have leaders who want to tax the people to do what is expected to be done, but they are not ready to tax themselves to do the job.
you see, all I wanted to, I can pick from this thing, in as much as we want to talk about the bad things in government, we mention our leaders. But personally, I want to say that this thing boils out on the number one citizen, the president. You see, the president is just like a manager in an organization. You stand in a position to determine certain activities. Now, he has the capacity, just as he used his capacity, as he said, and we saw it happen, that in his capacity as the president, he gave Edo State to the APC. He has the capacity to caution the activities of the leaders, the co-leaders. You see, it is a problem. You mentioned the son of the president visiting a place and donating 500 million. There is no business traceable to him. There is no company traceable to him. It is a problem. We had a story recently, and somebody was saying that in a state in Nigeria here, even the brother of the governor is being addressed as His Excellency. It is a problem. In Nigerian government politics is not like a family business.
Yeah.
All right. So, but
Fixing in their people.
Whether you have, there was a case in one of the states in Nigeria where the governor told his brother to occupy a position, and the brother was telling him this thing happened in Nigeria. The brother was telling him, "I am not educated. You know I'm not educated." And he asked the brother, "What is your name?" He said, "My name." He said, "So long you can respond, my name is this. You are fit. Occupy the position." And so what do you expect of that person? It is now man no man. It is not about your capacity, intellectual capacity and all that. So the problem we're having is that we have a number one citizen, a president who does not even, should I say that is not the serving begins from him. He said a leader leads by example. And there is this saying that a leading sin is a leader sin is a leading sin. All right. Once you are doing a thing, the people, your subordinates, the people that are with you are learning from you. A leader sin is a leading sin. That is what is playing out. If the people are not learning from the president, the governors are not learning from the president, whatever the governors are doing, the local government chairmen are doing it, down to councillors and all that. You discover that the virus is now like when you dip a finger in kerosene and dip it in a gallon of oil. The oil, no matter the liter, it is polluted. That is what is happening in the country.
See, one thing that I'm seeing here is that it's just coming to me in another thought that even though this money we are talking about, they have a justification for it. But then there is no clarity as regards the aftermath of this. Because I'm seeing here that 1.57 billion dollars, equivalent to
Almost
approximately
3 trillion.
3 trillion naira. You know, it is not a project that you do, you get the money, you start doing immediately. It is something that is going to be continuous, which means that you have a futuristic plan, but you are not clear enough with your followers
The plan has
as
not been
regards
mapped
those things.
out as for how to spend this
Yeah,
money.
exactly.
There is
my
no plan
concern is
out.
that my concern is that even though this is going to be your plan, their 2030 goal, whatever, let your followers into it. Make them understand, even at every level, in a layman understanding. Let them understand that, okay, these are the things that we have to do now, but there is no clarity. Why? Because we have seen you take loans over and over again, and those loans are not being utilized, and you did not account for it. You did not give people feedback as regards to what to use those loans to do. Yet you are taking another one and you are feeling like, okay, the people are not understanding. How will they understand when you have not made them to understand? So I'm now seeing the Nigerian government giving this kind of reaction, the Onshemi Ongbami reaction. That's the Yoruba word that says you are doing me at the same time you are saving me. I'm seeing the story here that
Sorry.
FG donates.
Sorry. We have you talk about 2030 plan or whatever. You see, we have a problem with continuity in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You see, was this administration, especially if not the same party,
Mm-hmm.
we find it difficult to continue any project. Once you are not, it's not, so you did not decide your successor. It becomes a problem. So there is no even anything. It is all about what. Sometimes we even see a finished project by an administration being condemned, being pulled down by a new administration. So it is a problem. A lot of these people are wasting Nigeria resources. You see some, especially when it comes to maybe street light, road lights, or some infrastructure, just because it was done by a political party that is not yours, they will come in and pull it down, and they will give the contract to somebody else. So who is losing? If these things were to be done with your personal money, will you do it that way?
It is a wastage mentality. That's what I'm saying. It's a wastage mentality. What is wrong with a particular leader, a particular party did a project up to this point? Citing Lagos as an example, I remembered in was it not before Ambode, in Fasho last time, he did roundabouts in Lagos. By the time Ambode came, he turned it to traffic. I think he patched the traffic lights to some extent. When Sanwo-Olu came, I think he did some rebranding on the traffic lights and all of that. The road that man did at around Chevron, there's no continuity on that project till date. No continuity. And it speaks volume about our wastage mentality. That the fact that somebody that was there before is not your party, is not your person. As a leader with vision, ask that person, what was your vision for this state? You see, we have divided vision in this country. If our vision can be in sync, political party can help us. But because our vision is not in sync, this one has an agenda, that party has an agenda. So everybody is coming to implement the agenda. I won't be surprised if, unfortunately, Tinubu lose the election in 2027, another leader comes and says, oh yeah, all of the renewed hope agenda that you're doing, we are not doing it again. It's abolished. Oh yeah, let's cancel it. Let's start our own all over again. We will not have results like that because we have not aligned our, let's say, okay, I've disagreed with this leader. How can I align his vision with my vision and ensure the continuity of it? Even though we are not talking about leadership, but we are talking about the wastage mindset of our leaders. But then let me hear your thoughts quickly on this, then we call it a day. FG donates over 64 CNG buses to labor unions, NANS for commuters. I think the essence of this commuter service, the essence of this is basically because of the hardship and all of that. But the labor unions here, whom you
arrested their president.
You arrested their president. You passed into
your
70,000 naira as minimum wage. You have not started implementing it. This is what I call the Onshemi Ongbami mentality. Let me hear your quick thought.
Well, you see, I don't even know what to say because these CNG buses, by now it should be functional. It should be functioning in the country currently. But how many states is this going to? Because it's actually meant to subside the cost of transportation currently. The truth is, how even if the CNG buses are being made available, what are the places it's going to be covering? What will be what happened to people that are now using petrol? All right, so we shouldn't be like we took a story some time ago on this table where we talk about in Lagos State there are some places that are meant for the rich and all that. So now, when fuel was cheap, people that were using diesel had to convert their engine to petrol. Now, with the cost, just imagine the cost of diesel now, and with the cost of petroleum now, there was a time they said the CNG gas will be sold for maybe 300 naira or something like that. I don't know. So what happens to people that have been into transportation and it's their source of living, and because they are buying fuel now, and the CNG buses are out, probably they'll be charging lower, and people will decide to use those buses. Now the question is, the buses, are they enough to serve the people? What happened to transporters that are using petroleum? What happened? So this thing is, they are just now released to labors. You see, they are confused. Sometimes they do certain things just to silence people.
Yeah.
That is what I'm seeing here. To silence the labor so that they won't talk and all, or should I say, they don't know how to come out plainly and openly and say, we are sorry, we have made a mistake. So I don't know if this is an idea or a system to apologize or to calm the labor union down for what they did to their president. I don't really know what to say.
All right, so we'll watch out for the reactions of the labor unions and every other person involved here. Even though it is a good development, at least it is going to slash the price of transportation for people. But then my question is on how the elasticity, how long is it going to last? Is it going to continue for a while? What percentage are the people paying? The drivers of this bus, hope it will not be that we
What
didn't
are
get
the risk
money.
involvement?
We didn't get money and all of that. The risks involved in all of these things. There are questions that I like people to ask, even though we want to jump at free things. The one question
safety
for me is the safety of it, and how long is it going to last, and what is the assurance that while we jump on this trend, while we jump on this new one, is there tendency that price of fuel will come down so that people will go back to their normal life? How will this CNG bus affect the price of petrol and all of that in the market? There are questions that a lot of persons would want to ask, but because of our time, we may not be able to dwell more on the story. But we would like to hear the reactions of our viewers on these stories that we have just taken. $1.57 billion loan from the World Bank to Nigeria. I mean, what is coming to your own mind? Do well to share your thought with us, and also share your thoughts on the donation of over 64 CNG buses to labor unions. Share your thoughts with us in the comment section of whatever platform you are watching us from. If you're watching us on Facebook, we're Prime Media TV; on Instagram and TikTok, we're Prime Media Studios; on the website where you're currently watching us, we're enginespeed.com. You can do well to follow us on our YouTube channel at Prime Media TV. I am Ayo till I come your way again tomorrow on the Midday Review. Do have a great day.